Good evening.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Drawing Cat Productions' production of Chuck Gordon's Curios. My name is Dalton Gorden.
And I am Sarah Wagner.
And we are Drawing Cat's production company.
We're so excited to have you here today and to be able to make this production, our first production and our first virtual staged at home reading. Thank you, all of you who are tuning in now or later to watch and dedicating your time to this beautiful art. Thank you. Thank you to our wonderful cast of actors, and I am beyond thrilled for you to see them. And thank you, Chuck, for letting us use your words tonight. Chuck is watching, so I hope we make you proud.
Yep. Just a reminder, if you would like to reproduce any part of tonight's production in whole or in part, you will need written permission from the playwright. This play, Curios, is copyright Charles Gordon. You will also, for this specific production, need our permission. That's permission from Drawing Cats Productions. But if you want to stage your own production of Curios, please make sure to contact Chuck Gordon. And if you've got our email or our Facebook,
it is in the description. drawingcatsproductions@gmail.com, at Drawing Cats Productions, Facebook and Instagram.
We'd be more than happy to put you in touch with Charles Gordon so that you can get his permission to stage your very own production if you'd like. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and start the show. So take it away, Markis. We're going to mute our mic and cut our camera.
Enjoy the show.
Curios by Chuck Gordon. Characters: Billy Graybear, a Native American in his early 40s. Jake, a college student in his early 20s. Belinda, a college student in her early 20s. Earl, a bartender, early 50s. Sheriff Claymore, in her mid-30s. Setting: a sports bar in a small college town somewhere in the American Prairie. All that is needed for the set is something to serve as a bar, 2 tables and chairs, and a busted TV screen. Time: the present. At rise: disaster. The bar looks like a hurricane has hit. Chairs are broken and overturned. Broken glass is evident on the floor, and the old television suspended from the ceiling sports a broken screen. On a tabletop, stage left, is a leather valise which has been left open. Earl, a heavy-set man in his mid-50s wearing a referee shirt and black pants, stands behind a long oak bar. Seated on a bar stool in front of him is Belinda, an attractive young cocktail waitress with long blonde hair. She's wearing a modified cheerleader's outfit, consisting of a brightly colored halter top, a short skirt, and heels. She intermittently sobs in terror. Their focus is riveted on her. Billy Graybear, a 40-year-old Native American seated at table downstage right with a bottle of beer in one hand and a revolver in the other. There's a small cut on his forehead, a bruise on his left cheek, and fresh scrapes on his knuckles. He has long black hair and is generously decorated with silver jewelry. He wears a denim work shirt and jeans. He also wears a fancy pair of cowboy boots, one of which is currently pinning Jake by the back of the neck to the floor. Jake is a young man in his early 20s, shirtless, except for a beaded breastplate, and is covered in tribal war paint as though trying to impersonate an Indian. It's a difficult impersonation to take seriously since he has long, flowing blonde hair and blue eyes. His face also supports a bruise on his chin and a fresh cut over his left eye. A cheap Halloween war bonnet made out of chicken feathers is nearby on the floor. Jake trembles with fear, rage, and humiliation. 3 beats. No one says anything. 1 beat. Billy calmly drinks his beer. Suddenly, Sheriff Claymore enters through the front door. She's a handsome woman in her mid-30s dressed in uniform, which happens to include a matching Stetson hat. She pauses in the doorway to survey the situation. 1 beat. The tense silence is deafening. Billy, aware of her presence, does not look at her.
Okay. Someone want to tell me what's going on?
It's that son of a bitch right there, Sheriff. Look what he's done to my bar. Where the hell have you been? I called you damn near an hour ago.
Oh, don't get your bowels in an uproar, Earl. I'm here now.
Somebody could have been killed.
Well, then we'd have a lot easier situation to deal with, wouldn't we? I'd just take whichever one was alive and throw his ass in jail. That ain't the situation. we got here is somewhat peculiar. You all right?
Belinda nods.
Then what the hell are you bawling about?
He's gonna kill him.
You hanging around to watch?
Belinda looks at her in shock.
Who the hell is down there? Jake, is that you?
Get this crazy son of a bitch off of me!
Billy applies pressure to the back of Jake's neck.
Yeah, that's it. All right. You missed Halloween by a few weeks there, boy.
The sheriff picks up one of the overturned chairs and moves it to Billy's table, sitting across from him.
You're not from around here, are you?
Top flight piece of detective work there, Sheriff. What was your first clue?
Out-of-state license plates in the parking lot. Dead giveaway. Just took a minute to call it in, Mr. Gray Bear. It is Mr. Gray Bear, isn't it?
Billy.
Pleased to meet you, Billy. I'm Sheriff Claymore.
I'd shake your hand, but under the circumstances.
Sure. Handsome weapon. I suppose you have a permit?
In the car.
Right.
Jesus, Sheriff. Are you just going to sit there shooting the shit? Or are you going to do something?
Well, what do you got in mind, Earl?
Call out the goddamn SWAT team.
I got 2 deputies, barely old enough to shave, Earl. I wouldn't exactly call that a SWAT team.
Call in the state police. They know how to handle a hostage situation.
Is that what we got here, Mr. Gray Bear? A hostage situation?
I prefer to think of it as a seminar.
Well, there you go, Earl. Ain't a hostage situation at all. It's a seminar. You've been watching too much TV. What's this seminar on?
Well, this young buck here, he wanted to know what it was like to be an Indian. I'm just giving him a few pointers.
You crazy son of a... No!
Quiet, little prick. It is his Indian name. I have given it to him.
Uh-huh. And how much longer is this seminar going to last?
Hard to say. He has yet to achieve any of the course goals.
And what might those be?
Total submission, immunity to humiliation, and of course, a total loss of self-identity.
That is the biggest crock of shit. I can tell you what happened here.
Well, it's about time someone did.
Well, for starters, it's a Monday night.
Oh, I know what night it is, for Christ's sake.
I'm trying to explain. So anyway, here on Monday nights, there's always a big game on TV.
Monday Night Football?
Okay, well, I decided to run a special on Monday nights. Beers during the game for half price. You know, a promotion to get the college kids in. So Jake and some of his buddies appeared all dressed up like Indians because they're Chief fans. Normally, I don't serve anybody who ain't wearing a shirt, especially in the middle of November. But I'm a Chiefs fan too. So I figure, what the hell? What's a sports bar without sports anyway? Anyway, the liquor's flowing pretty good for the first half, and everybody seems to be having a good time. I mean, I did a record business for a Monday night, I can tell you. Then, during halftime, in walks this son of a bitch. I could tell he was going to be trouble. Sit down at the corner table, start slamming back half-price beers like they were going out of style. And from the looks of it, trying to put the moves on my waitress here. Then the game got started back up. Next thing I know, Mr. Off the Res here, he's kicking the living shit out of poor Jake there.
The motherfucker sucker punched me! Ow! Jesus!
Quiet, little prick. This is part of your training. Listen to the white man colorfully rewrite your history.
And when Jake's friends tried to break up the fight, that bastard whips out that pistol there and blows my TV all to hell.
It seemed the best way to gain everyone's attention.
Well, that did it. Folks cleared out of here like shit through a goose. And that's when I called you.
You told me everything that happened, but I still got no idea why it happened.
Well, Jesus, ain't it obvious? The chief there got himself drunk as a skunk, decided Jake was making fun of him, and just went apeshit.
You're a real demon for details, Earl.
There's more to it than that.
Ah! Yet another country is heard from. Well, don't be shy, girl. Speak up.
Just stay out of it, Belinda.
Mind your manners, little prick.
Blow me, Tonto. Damn it.
Barkeep, another beer. This one's gone flat.
Bar's closed.
Come on. You know us Redskins love our firewater. Me got plenty wampum.
I said bar's closed.
Billy cocks the hammer of the revolver and points it at the back of Jake's head.
No!
A beat.
Give him a beer.
Jesus, Sheriff, the bastard's already shit-faced.
And one more ain't gonna make a whole hell of a lot of difference. And give me one too while you're at it.
You're on duty.
One beer, Earl. It ain't like I asked for a double jack, for Christ's sake.
Reluctantly, Earl reaches under the bar, producing 2 bottles of beer and begins opening them. Billy, as though lost in another world, continues to aim the pistol at Jake.
Okay, Billy, he's bringing the beer. How about easing off of that trigger?
Billy snaps out of it and gently uncocks the revolver. Earl hands the beers to Belinda.
I can't.
You're still on the clock, hon.
Bring him on over here, Belinda. I want to hear your side of this thing.
A pause. Belinda slowly moves to the table, her focus riveted on Billy, and gently sets the beers down at the table.
So how about it, honey? Was Mr. Gray Bear here making improper advances or not?
Not exactly.
Well, not exactly. Belinda, you're a big girl. You know the difference between a man smiling at you and a man grabbing your ass.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
You're full of shit.
Whoa, hold it. I feel like I just walked in the middle of a Japanese movie. What just happened here?
He says he's my father.
What?
I wasn't even working his table. And like he asked for me, so I came over to serve him. And he starts this line of bullshit about how I'm supposed to be his long lost daughter. Then he pulls out this big necklace out of his bag and then he tries to put it on me and I got scared. And Jake saw what was going on and he thought he was trying to get fresh. And the next thing I know, the two of them are fighting and then he pulls the gun out of his bag and he shoots the TV and says he's gonna kill him. Sheriff, tell him he's wrong. You know my father.
That there is a fact, Mr. Gray Bear. I do know her dad. He's a professor at the college here. He teaches history.
He is her adopted father.
I am not adopted. Sheriff, make him stop.
Belinda, settle down.
Holy shit, this is like one of them unsolved mystery shows.
Earl, stay out of this. What makes you so sure that his girl is your daughter?
I know.
For Christ's sake, Sheriff, does Belinda look like a goddamn Indian?
Oh, settle down, little prick. However, he does have a point there, Mr. Raybear. I've got to admit, I really haven't run into too many of your people with blonde hair.
Her hair is dyed.
Well, how about it, Belinda? Is that true?
I can't believe you would even ask me that.
Okay, fine. How about it, Jake? Does Belinda dye her hair?
What are you asking him for?
Because I want a straight answer. And I figure as much time as you two spend playing fumble jumpy in the back of his Dodge, he ought to know. Unless, of course, you want to strip down right now and show us.
That's disgusting.
Well, that's what I thought. So how about it, Jake? Is she the same girl north and south?
A pause. Jake considers his dilemma. He is truly caught between the Indian and the lady.
She dyes her hair.
Jake!
Well, he's holding a gun on me, for Christ's sake.
Okay, yeah, so I dye it. A lot of women do. It doesn't prove anything.
I think we're going to need something a little more concrete here in the way of proof, Mr. Graybear.
Billy reaches into his shirt pocket and withdraws a worn, wrinkled piece of paper, handing it to the sheriff, who opens it and reads it.
What is that?
A birth certificate. And a photocopy of some adoption papers. Is that your daddy's signature?
Belinda looks at the papers in horror and disbelief. He then rips the paper into pieces.
That's not true! It's not true! You're a fucking liar!
She throws the paper at Billy and rushes into the ladies' room, sobbing hysterically.
How'd you manage to get a hold of the adoption papers? State agencies don't usually like to give those up.
I reasoned with them.
Uh-huh. Wouldn't have anything to do with the warrant that's out on you in South Dakota for assaulting a government employee now, would it?
I knew it. I knew he was dangerous. I could tell the minute.
The minute he walked in the door. Yes, Earl, we know. If I need a psychic, I'll keep you in mind. So, what exactly did you do to the guy? If you don't mind me asking, that is.
Not at all. I grabbed a hold of his nuts and told him that when I left his office, either his manhood or the adoption papers would be in my hand.
I reckon that'd do it.
What else do you know about me, Sheriff?
I know you've had some problems with the law before, that you've done some time.
Do you know what for?
Possession.
Possession, yes. Another clash of the cultures. It's an illegal narcotic or a sacred herb, depending on your point of view.
Jesus Christ. A dope fiend. Figures.
Earl, why don't you fix yourself a drink?
I am on the wagon.
Then smoke a cigarette, eat some peanuts, stick something in your mouth besides your goddamn foot for a change.
You know almost everything about me, Sheriff, and I don't know a damn thing about you. Doesn't seem fair.
What do you want to know?
How about your name?
Ellie.
Short for Eleanor? Eleanor. How does an Eleanor get to be sheriff?
College town, Mr. Gray Bear. Folks like to think that they're liberal. So here I am.
Dangerous job
For a woman, you mean?
for anybody.
Some nights, more than others.
I shouldn't have come.
Why did you?
To give her the necklace. Her mother would have wanted her to have it.
Your wife is dead. I'm sorry.
A disease of the blood. The white cells killed off the red ones. Kind of ironic.
The sheriff notices an elaborate necklace of silver and turquoise on the barroom floor. She bends over and picks it up.
This was your wife's. It's beautiful.
I made it for her.
You made this. Well, you're quite an artist, Mr. Gray Bear.
It's my trade. Curios, trinkets, baubles, mostly sold to pasty-faced women in capri pants and orange hair. My great-grandfather was supposed to have been a powerful shaman. On the res, there are some folks think his magic lives on in my jewelry. Her mother believed that. She believed that what we felt for each other somehow lives on in that necklace. Silly, isn't it?
Not at all.
Sure you ain't part Indian, Sheriff?
Ain't the term supposed to be Native American?
Some California college professor came up with that expression to be politically correct while they desperately try to commit cultural genocide. Nah, Indian was good enough for my grandmother, so it's good enough for me. So, how about it? Got some Indian princess blood in you?
I'm a genuine Heinz 57 varieties, Mr. Gray Bear. There's no tell what's blood's running in my veins.
You're lucky not to know.
Jake suddenly squirms beneath Billy's boot and Billy applies pressure to his neck.
No.
Going somewhere, little brick?
No. I gotta take a leak.
Oh, go in your pants.
You're nuts.
Why not? Would it be humiliating? You'll soon get used to that.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
God damn it, Sheriff. How much longer are you going to allow this horse shit to go on?
Oh, the great white father is angry.
Don't come at me with that shit. I ain't no fucking bigot. I treat you just the same as I treat anybody else.
Just like any other white man?
Exactly.
Look close, barkeep. I'm not a white man, and certainly I don't want to be treated like one.
I don't care who or what you are. The Declaration says all men are created equal. That's good enough for me. In my book, we're all Americans.
Milk is homogenized, barkeep, not people.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, sir, your first mistake right out of the gate was to say all men are created equal. White men do not respect women. Your folks would not even acknowledge our women leaders. My nation does not say all men are created equal. All people are equal. Second, we have our own language, our own traditions. When you talk equality, you mean sameness. You'll accept me as an equal, but only if I conform to your standard white male idea of normalcy. But, of course, I have to abandon my heritage, my people. I must forfeit all that makes me who I am in order to become a contestant in the American Dream sweepstakes? But once I leap into the melting pot with you, we all know the white cream rises to the top. Everything else sinks to the bottom and has to be scoured out before the pot gets used again. I have no wealth to cling to. no enterprise. All I have, white man, is my heritage.
Is that what all this is about? Politics? That was a right mighty pretty speech you just made there.
Dude, you did. You sounded like Bernie Sanders. And okay, I'll shut up.
Guess maybe I was. It's been a long time. Over 20 years ago, Bush proclaimed November as National Native American Heritage Month. We all made speeches. It's always cool to be an Indian as long as we're a sticker on a calendar. But the rest of the year, if we don't want our lands to be spoiled by oil pipeline, clear cutting, and uranium mines, folks just lose interest.
So you were an activist.
I suppose so. Actually, my wife was the real activist. She was into all the tribal history, the rituals, not me. I was just riding the cyclone.
You went to jail for it.
Nah, not really, not hardly. I went to jail for being an idiot. I wasn't carrying herb for some sacred ceremony. I was selling it to college kids. White boys, like little prick over here. One of them was an narc. I had a pregnant wife and $50 to my name. Stupid. Got served a 24-month sentence. I was supposed to serve as an example to my people that we were not above the white man's law. While I was in prison, my wife fell sick. They wouldn't let me out to see her. She died shortly after giving birth to our daughter. They wouldn't let me go to the funeral. My nearest relative was my sister-in-law who had 3 kids of her own she couldn't afford.
So she put the child up for adoption.
Actually, no. The state did, against my will. I said that I'd take care of her as soon as I got out. At that point, I only had 2 months to go. So much for that Indian Child Welfare Act that was supposed to protect my family, to keep my daughter in my tribe. They told me I didn't have any rights.
Man, oh man.
And that was all 20 years ago. And you've been looking for your daughter all this time?
Nope, not really. When I returned to the reservation, things were different. My wife was gone. All my friends and families were just interested in getting by. They didn't know where my daughter went. They didn't want to cause trouble. Just like any cyclone, this one finally blew itself out. So I left the res, and I spent most of my time trying to forget I had a daughter, or a wife, or a people. I hooked up with the rodeo circuit for a while, selling watch bands, belt buckles, keychains. I got by. It was enough to keep me in food, clothes, booze. I became just another drunk Indian. You know why so many Indians drink? Social workers like to think it's inherited, genetic, a missing enzyme or something like that. But really, we drink to forget. We think that if we can drink just enough, maybe we can forget everything. About a month ago, I woke up butt naked in a trailer somewhere in the middle of Montana. Found myself eye to eye with a worm at the bottom of a tequila bottle. I looked under the sheets and I couldn't remember who this woman was next to me or how I got there. But I didn't panic until I realized I couldn't remember who I was, not even my name. It was then that I decided it was time to stop living. I went to my case. I reached inside for this pistol. My hand found the grip, but when I tried to pull it out, It was snagged on something. I pulled and I pulled and finally ripped it free, only to find this necklace dangling from the end of the barrel. And suddenly it was all clear who I was, what I had to do. You see, we're a very superstitious people. We take things like that for signs, visions. So I set out to find my daughter and give her the necklace. And now I've done that. And I'm back to where I started.
I think I understand how you feel, Mr. Graybear.
How can you? I'm not even sure I do. I come to this shithole and I find my daughter dressed up as a slut, trying to remold herself into something that she isn't. I try to communicate with her to make her understand who and what she really is, and then I'm spun around and struck in the face by this fucking cartoon?
Oh, look, man, I didn't understand what was happening.
Oh, quiet little prick. No one is speaking to you.
Please.
Oh, shut up.
That's it. I'm calling the police.
Put down the phone,
state
Earl.
police. He's gonna kill that boy.
Like hell he is. Mr. Graybear would love it if you called the state police.
What the hell are you talking about, Ellie? He's crazy.
Yeah, like a fox. He'd love to have some of those shoot first and ask questions later boys come busting through the door. They'd save him a lot of trouble. See, the real problem is Mr. Graybear doesn't have what it takes to put that gun to his own head and pull the trigger. That's what all this is about, isn't it, Mr. Graybear?
You talk too much, Sheriff.
I've been accused of that. But I'm not going to oblige you, Mr. Graybear. I'm not in the mood to shoot anybody tonight. And neither are you. So why don't you just let the boy go?
Billy continues to aim the gun at Jake, barely containing his rage.
I understand you're a proud man, Mr. Graybear. I was married to a proud man once. He died defending my honor. Well, at least I'm sure that's how he'd like to think of it. Some fella in a bar like this one called me something less than flattering. Joe took offense and went over to him. And the next thing I know, my husband's laying on his back with a 6-inch blade sticking out of his guts. And the funny thing is, I didn't feel honorable standing there, watching the lifeblood gush out of his body, seeing the life drain out of his face like someone's let the air out of a balloon. And I didn't feel particularly honorable in the waiting room at the hospital when they told me that they had done all they could do. And there was no honor whatsoever in seeing the fella that done it go to prison for 15 years. All I felt was empty and angry. I mean, my husband died for nothing more than a thoughtless remark by some ass drunk in a bar. You see, I understand pride, Mr. Graybear. I even admire it. But it is a damned stupid thing to die for.
A long pause. Billy gently releases the hammer of the gun, then lifts his boot from Jake's neck, freeing him. Slowly, Jake gets to his feet and turns, looking at Billy.
Go, clean yourself up, little prick. Class dismissed.
Billy sets the gun down on the table. Embarrassed, Jake starts to move towards the men's room, but stops at the sound of Billy's voice.
Tell me something, little prick. How do you feel about her, now that you know who she is, what she is?
It really don't make no difference.
You'll still see her?
Of course, she's a fine woman. I'm lucky she likes me.
Billy looks at him long and hard, then stands, picking up the necklace from the table and walks over to Jake with it.
Then you give her this.
Jake looks at Billy apprehensively, then gently takes the necklace from him.
Well, what the hell are you waiting for, Sheriff? He put down his gun, cuff him, and run him out of here.
Oh, you want to do it?
Billy turns, looking at Earl.
Me? Shit, it's your job.
That's right. It's my job. And I expect I'll get around to it when I am goddamn good and ready. But right now, I feel like letting the man finish his beer.
Billy moves back to the table and sits down across from the sheriff. She picks up the pistol on the tabletop and opens the chamber, examines it, and smiles. She then snaps the chamber shut, aims the gun at the floor, and pulls the trigger. The hammer harmlessly clicks against the firing pin.
Only one bullet, huh?
Thought it was all I'd need.
Jesus tits. You mean all this time you had me pissing in my pants, pinned to the floor, and the goddamn gun was empty?
How'd you know?
I didn't. I figured you didn't have the balls. Turns out you didn't have the bullets.
Story of my life.
Hell of a bluff.
Yeah, but you called it. Remind me never to play poker with you.
The sheriff smiles. Suddenly, the door to the ladies' room bursts open and everyone turns to see Belinda standing in the doorway, a Swiss Army knife in one hand, her handbag in the other. She has taken the knife to her hair and cropped huge sections of it very short in a haphazard manner. No single swatch is longer than an inch, and some have been cut extremely close to the scalp, exposing the dark roots beneath the blonde ends. Tears are streaming down her puffy red face, and her entire body quakes with fear and anger.
I suppose you expect me to call you daddy or something?
I don't expect anything.
God damn you! Why? Why did you give me away? Oh, was I ugly? Was I inconvenient? Did I cry too much? Was I a bastard?
No, I was in jail. Your mother was sick. Your mother had you, and they wouldn't let me out. Then she got sicker. You need to know I loved her very much. We both wanted you very much, but they weren't going to let me out for a couple of years.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Why did you have to come here and take my life away from me?
I didn't come here to take anything away from you. I came here to give you something.
Billy nods to Jake, who's rooted to the floor, staring at Belinda's gross hairdo in horror.
That was your cute little prick?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Here, this is from your dad. I guess.
What the hell is this? Oh, is this supposed to make up for the last 20 years? Am I supposed to run into your arms and tell you all's forgiven? You asshole?
Your mother.
Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, I know. I heard it. I heard all of it. Fucking goddamn walls are paper thin. Okay. I always suspected something. I mean, I knew I didn't look anything like my parents, but Jesus. Don't you understand? My whole life, what I thought was my life, it's bullshit now. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Try it on.
Belinda looks at the necklace, stroking the delicate craftsmanship with her fingers. It seems to have a calming effect on her. She slips on the necklace.
Well,
Billy does not respond. He simply smiles.
don't say anything stupid, okay? How I look just like my mother or anything. I don't think I could take that right now. Especially since I don't even know what you look like.
Billy slowly moves to her, removing his billfold from his back pocket and removing a small snapshot from it that he hands to her. Sniffing back tears, Belinda examines the photograph.
Shit. I do look like her.
She loved you very much. You're our daughter.
A long pause. They look into each other's eyes.
I can't talk to you or anything right now. It just, I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I'm afraid I'd explode or puke or something. Can I keep the picture?
Billy nods. Belinda moves past him, heading toward the door.
I have to go now. I have to see my family. My family. Jesus. I don't even know what that word means anymore.
She shouldn't have to take that journey alone.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Come on, honey. I'll drive you home.
Home. I'm gonna want to talk to you. Where can I find you?
I think it's safe to say that Mr. Gray Bear is going to be my guest for a while, at least for the next few days.
Hey, look, Sheriff, I don't want to press charges or nothing. I didn't mean any offense, you understand? Hell, I've seen Dances with Wolves 5 times.
Well, that's very noble of you, Jake, but I'm afraid there's a little more to it than that.
You're damn right there is. I got a shitload of damages here, and somebody's gonna pay for them.
Look, Earl, the whole damn thing was my fault. If I hadn't got the whole wrong idea, none of this would have happened.
Shut up, little prick.
I wish everybody would quit calling me that.
The damage you done don't amount to shit. I can cover some busted glasses and chairs, no problem. But you didn't shoot out my $400 TV!
Earl looks squarely at Billy, a beat. Billy moves to the bar, opening his wallet and taking out some cash, slapping it down on the bar. Earl looks at the money.
Looks like you're about 300 short.
That's all I got.
Earl studies Billy for a moment, then moves out from behind the bar towards Billy's valise and peering in.
What was it I heard you say about watch bands?
Billy joins him at the table, reaching inside the case and pulling out a silver and turquoise watch band, dangling it in front of Earl.
This damn thing keeps turning my skin green.
Genuine silver.
How much?
300.
Earl examines the watch band skeptically. A beat.
It's guaranteed to bring you luck with the ladies.
Yeah?
Billy nods. Earl snatches it up and stuffs it into his shirt pocket.
Sold.
Earl turns and heads back to the bar. The sheriff stares at him in disbelief.
What? You never heard of an out-of-court settlement before?
Oh, don't tell me. After all of your hollering, that you're dropping your complaint.
Can't get blood out of a stone.
How about it, Sheriff? Everyone's dropped the charges. Is he free to go?
Listen, Belinda, it's not that simple, honey. You see, the state of South Dakota has a prior claim.
Well, you can't send him back. Not now. I mean, Jesus, I need to talk to him.
Hey, just take it easy. I ain't sending him nowhere. I'm holding him till they come to get him. And knowing how swiftly the great wheel of justice turned, I'd say you probably have a good week to come by the jail and get acquainted.
I'll get you a good lawyer. Yeah? It's just the least I can do after all the things you went through just to find me. My dad, she says, what do I call him?
You've been calling him that for 20 years. I see no reason to quit all sudden like.
Well, you don't know him, but he's a really great guy. I mean, this will all throw him for a loop, but he's always been there for me. But once he gets past the shock, he's gonna help.
He must love you a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Then you better get going. He'll be worried about you.
I'll see you first thing in the morning. Everything's gonna work out fine. You'll see.
Me too. See you in the morning too.
You? What for?
Well, her old man hates me. I've been trying to suck up to him for 1.5 years now. I know you and me got off on the wrong foot, but who knows? Maybe I got a better chance with you.
Jake.
But no more of this little prick stuff, okay? Between you and me, I'm hung like a horse. I'm coming.
Billy watches him go, smiling.
Wow. Did you get what you came here for?
She's quite a gal, isn't she?
And then some.
You're quite a gal yourself.
Are you flirting with an officer of the law, Mr. Graybear?
Billy.
Listen, Billy, I know you're in a good mood and I don't want to bring you down, but I got a job to do here. I think we ought to just keep things professional, okay?
Why? You got a fella?
I reckon it's time. I'm sorry, but I can only bend so many regulations in one night. My deputies are out front and they won't understand me putting you in the car without these on. Proper procedure and all. But in front will be okay.
Billy offers his hands to her and she gently places the cuffs on his wrists.
You use this same delicate touch with all your hardened criminals, Sheriff?
Ellie.
Billy picks up his valise with both hands and the sheriff starts to escort Billy out, but Billy sets down his valise on the table.
Wait a sec, please.
What is this? Some kind of bribe?
A gift.
Put 'em on, Sheriff! Woo!
They are lovely.
Oh, you know us Indians. You give me something, I give you something. Fair trade.
Those aren't exactly a gift. They signify that you're my prisoner.
So do these.
With a wry smile, the sheriff clearly puts the bracelets back into the valise.
You have the right to remain silent about trying to put the moves on an officer of the law.
That's not your Cherokee parked out front, is it? We're gonna have to talk about your taste in transportation.
Earl watches them go.
Fuck it. Mona? Earl? Long time no see.
End of play.
All right.
Yes! That was so fantastic. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for that wonderful performance.
Yeah, please give a digital round of applause to our actors wherever you are at home. They can't hear you, but I'm sure they can sense it.
And if any of you out there feel compelled to make a charitable donation to our actors, you can email us, drawingcatsproductions@gmail.com. It's in the description, and we will make sure that money gets to them. Also, if anyone's interested in doing a show with us or has a script they want us to read, send us an email. We love meeting new people. Now, we would really love to recognize these beautiful people that brought voices to these characters and learn a little bit more about them. If everyone can state their name, where they're based out of, and what is your favorite type of cheese? I'm curious. Markis, why don't you start us out with that?
Hello, my name is Markis Blackwell. I'm based out of New York City. I don't have a favorite type of cheese. I like all kinds of cheeses. So, I mean, can't hate the game.
What do you put on a burger?
American. Is there any
Okay.
other cheese?
I mean, I did pepper jack, so.
Respect,
What about Ritt? Ritt, can you come up on here?
Hey guys, Ritt Nielsen, based out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and my favorite kind of cheese is American because it's patriotic.
Okay, okay. Kasha.
Hi, I'm Kasha Pazdar, and I'm based out of New York City. My favorite type of cheese is fresh. Oh no, not mozzarella. What's the burrata? Burrata.
Ooh,
That's my favorite.
I love your passion. Yes, Kasha. Dan, tell us about your cheese.
Hi, my name is Daniel Rios, and I'm based currently out of Houston, Texas. My favorite cheese is Havarti because
Ooh.
all of you are wrong.
Oh, yes.
Oh!
Ian.
Hello. My name is Ian Wettlaufer. I'm based out of Lancaster, PA. And my favorite type of cheese, I would say, is blue cheese
Wild.
or feta. I like feta as well.
Feta is very nice. I agree. Denisse.
Hi, I'm Denisse Estefany Mendoza, and I'm based out of Brooklyn, New York. And my favorite cheese is ghost pepper because it's spicy. And I love anything spicy on all of my food. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I already mentioned I'm a pepper jack fan. What about you?
I like really sharp cheddar.
Yes, we're Drawing Cast Productions based out of New York.
So if anybody is interested in contacting any of our wonderful actors, you're welcome to reach out to us. We'll be happy to forward the information if they're interested in working with you. Does anybody, before we let everybody go, anybody got any last questions, comments, or concerns that they'd like to raise? Anything you'd like to share about the show or about playing your character?
Thank you for watching.
Yep. Likewise, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
so
watching,
much.
everybody. Have a good night.
Do I have to keep
Thanks
this
for tuning
paint
in.
on any longer?
Say again, Ian?
Do I have to keep this paint on any longer?
No, you can.
No.
Yeah, please.
Let's go shower. And on that note, have a great Friday night and a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. A big love and a round of applause for all of our essential workers. Thank you, everybody.
Be sure to tune in the next couple of
Yes.
weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks.
In May 15th, we should have our next production coming out. We're going to be performing a play called Random in tandem with a play called That Word, both of which are written by Michelle Brevet Gordon. So,
All right.
tune in for that. Have a good night,
See you in
everybody.
2 weeks.
Thanks so very much.
Yay.
Good night.
Good night.